Hey guys, Bill from BK Race Engines. I'd like to introduce you to one of our latest builds, probably one of the baddest street engines in town. I guess what makes this engine special is that it was built specifically for a street engine. It's not a race car engine. We've built plenty of engines that have made more power than this, but there was just some things that we had to do to make this thing different. We had a bonnet clearance issue, so we had to keep the engine as low as humanly possible. And there's so many other factors, like this thing had to be pump gas and pump gas only. We've got no added aids like vacuum pumps. It's not a drag car engine. It is intended to be built for a street car. I guess this engine, it was probably a good enough engine, big enough engine, so we could, give the twin blade carburetor a serious go. This carburetor has been designed, to fill the gap between a 4150 and a Dominator carburetor. It's tailored for that 800, 900, 950 horse range, where there has been a little bit of a hole when you look at our 4150 range to our 4500 range. The carburetor itself, very impressive. This is our first go at the twin blade, and from the get-go, from the first hit of the key, idle was perfect. Yes, hey, we had to muck around with the jetting, the air bleed, etc. But considering this carburetor has never run on an engine like this, it was very close out of the box. With this build, I guess because of the type of racing and things that it's going to do, we had to push the whole ignition system beyond what we've done in the past. I guess when you start talking about people going and doing unprepped racing, where the things, you've got to be able to kill a lot of power. I guess when you start looking at how far you can go with a rotor button, we couldn't go any further than that. So in this case here, it was an opportunity to introduce coil on plug, and we've chosen the FuelTech 550 for that. And I guess with the 550, it gives us all the ability of the logging and so many other functions that are way over the top for this application. But thanks to Nathaniel, we've nailed it. It's been fantastic. Thank you. So if you have a look at this build, working with OC Billet, we've seen so much coil on plug stuff that looks revolting, and we had to make these things look right. So we've gone to extreme measures with the valve covers and the coils to actually make it look nice. I think it's probably one of the best looking coil on plugs things that I've ever seen. With this build, the Fords, you tend to struggle a lot when you look at balancers, crank triggers, timing pointers, belt drives. There's not really, one make that, bolts together nicely without, not requiring 3/4 of a day of milling and lathe work to make it all fit. We chose the Innovator West system for this. As you can see, between the damper, the crank trigger bracket, it's a kit, it's bolted on, not a lot of nonsense, and worked great. Obviously with this thing here, we wanted to take it to the next level, where we've got 12 magnets, not 4, and obviously with the FuelTech that works hand in hand. So with this thing being an actual street engine, we couldn't rob the fact of not having the right water pump on it, a mechanical water pump. We couldn't really do it with electric. This engine not only is a street engine, but it's been built for endurance work. There's no reason why you couldn't take this engine and go put it on a circuit track and run fast. We've chosen the Jones pulley system on this just to eliminate any potential belt throwing. issues, and obviously their stuff is proven, in all types of motorsport. I guess the big goal with this thing was to make as much power as we could with pump gas. We've opted for the small Higgins head, like only the 2.8 head, which, we could have gone to the larger head and made a lot more power. But, I guess what we tried to achieve with this was get the torque, the peak torque down as far as we could, and then, between the camshaft, induction and everything else, try and make this thing RPM as far up as we could. I think we've nailed it. When you look at, peak torque to peak power, 2400 revs, 2500 revs, there's not many engines out there that can do it. It's going to be a crazy fast engine on the street, track, whatever the customer intends to do. 830 horsepower under the bonnet. There's not many Fords that can do that on pump gas. Thanks for your time, guys, and hope you enjoy the build.